Moving into other news of the day, New York City Mayor threatens legal action against Texas for migrant buses. Don't you just love this? New York City is a sanctuary state, or sanctuary city, I should say, a right to shelter city. And they've been boasting for years, similar to LA and Washington, D.C., of, oh, look at us. Republicans don't care about the migrants, the illegal immigrants. We're a sanctuary city. Come and be free. We'll take care of you. So Governor Eric Adams says, fine, we don't have enough space here. You want to boast about this for years and throw it in our faces. It's greener pastures. You claim to be this and that, so we'll bust them to you. So we sent roughly, 5,100, under 6,000, and it gridlocked their infrastructure. The guy was freaking out. Mayor Eric Adams was freaking out, didn't know what to do with it, was calling on New York City residents to house these illegal immigrants. You're talking one of the biggest cities in the world. Can't even take care of under 6,000 migrants. That is not even what Texas gets in one day. Texas is looking anywhere from 6,000 to 15,000 in a day, every day. And he can't even handle a total of less than 6,000 that was gridlocking their infrastructure. They didn't know what to do with them. So now he goes from a right to shelter state, a sanctuary city state, and boasting, going, maybe we should open up some investigation to see if there's legal action to this. So on Sunday, New York City Governor Mayor Eric Adams, said he is considering taking legal action against Texas for busing migrants to the sanctuary state. Why? Whoa. You're supposed to be for this, man. Your Democrat Party is all for this. Shouldn't you be supporting this great news that Republicans are now busing people to your state so they could stay there and they could live there and they can kind of mooch off the government and they can kind of take all your resources? I thought you were for this stuff, man. What happened? Come on, Eric. What happened, buddy? Not into it anymore? Quote, our legal team is looking at legal challenges we could do with Texas, Adams told a TV site. We believe there are some options we have because we are involuntarily placing someone on a bus we believe that actually skates the law. We are not leaving any stones unturned to make sure that New Yorkers are not being treated in an unfair way. Oh, baby, don't you love the irony in that, the hypocrisy? He's worried about New Yorkers being treated unfairly, but it's Arizona, Florida, and Texas that have to be treated unfairly and basically foot the bill for all these migrants because your party, and especially the executive branch, don't want to do their job and take care of the border and actually stop people from coming in illegally. Oh, speaking of unfair, it's so interesting how that works out, huh? Now when actually it impacts them. Now actually when they have to have some sort of result of their actions taking place, some consequences, all of a sudden they don't want that to happen. And it's such a theme with this Democrat Party. It's been a theme for decades that they will vote stuff in, and the second that they have to deal with the very thing that they voted in, they want to complain about it, even though Republicans have been complaining about it ever since they voted it in. And we were always looked at as the bigots, the racists, the sexists, homophobes, whatever it may be, because we're complaining about the very policy they voted for. But now that they have to deal with it, now they're complaining about the same policy that we were complaining about, but they're not bigots, sexists, homophobes, or anything like that. And now they're moving the other states. Great example, California. Just look at what's going on in California, Washington, D.C., a lot of these blue states, Chicago. Just look at these areas, Illinois, right? State and locality, meaning the cities themselves. And they're fleeing from them and going to these red states because the red states aren't implementing the policies and these idiotic laws that they're doing in these blue states. And so they're leaving from the blue states to the red states because of the idiocracy that they're voted in. And they're voting in these politicians that are doing the exact same thing of which they wanted to be voted for. So now that they're dealing with it, they don't want to have to deal with it. So it's just so crazy. Such knuckleheads. Apparently and approximately 11,000 migrants have entered New York City's homeless shelters since May. Oh, so they upped it, which is great. Last news I heard was 5,100. So including the 2,500 bust. Oh, so okay, here we go. So 2,500 bust by Governor Greg Abbott. So these are obviously coming from different localities from Texas, but also Arizona. So that makes sense on where we got the news from. We were looking at Governor Greg Abbott's numbers. Adams said the city shelters are at the breaking point. Well, yeah, when you're busing over 10,000 illegal immigrants somewhere else, you're going to have some sort of breaking point if you weren't prepared for it because you never thought it was actually going to happen to you because you only thought that it was only going to happen to the southern states, the border states. So now he's freaking out. And like I keep saying, you would think that the guy would be able to take care of 11,000 people in what, a city probably of millions. I know the state of California has more population, or at least used to have more population than literally the entire country of Canada. Los Angeles is home to millions of people. And you can't even take care of a few thousand? That's a massive problem. And it just shows a lack of governance on part of the Democrats. Adams told the TV station the city has opened 23 emergency shelters to house the influx of migrants arriving in the city. He said New York would need to open an additional 38. Keep busing them there, Abbott. Keep busing them there. Just send as many as you want. I think we should double or triple the buses and just hound the system that they have in place. Let them feel the pressure that they're feeling in Texas and Arizona as well as Florida. The mayor told the news outlet that the city officials are exploring the legality of temporarily housing migrants in cruise ships. Oh, lovely. Okay, just put this in perspective. We have our vets that are sleeping in the streets in the cold, especially in New York. And they're willing to house these migrants on freaking cruise ships. Sometimes put them in hotel rooms, pay for the hotel fees, while our vets are like secondary citizens from the illegal immigrants. That's basically how it is, right? When was the last time you heard a mayor go, you know what? We got our vets sleep on the street. They served our country. Maybe we should try to take care of them and put them up on a cruise ship. When was that ever stated? When was it ever stated like, hey, you know what? Why don't we just go and pay for their hotel fees? Why don't we put them first before the illegal immigrants? You never hear that from the Democrat Party. You never hear that from these progressive leftists. No, I would be okay with trying to help our vets. More money. They served our country. We should do what's actually helpful for them because not only are they American citizens, but again, they are veterans. But they're being as like second-class citizens below illegal immigrants that broke the law to come into this country in the first place. We are so ass backwards as a country. It is unbelievable. We're looking at that. That's something that's the previous administration, the Bloomberg administration. My understanding is they looked at that during the surge. And so we're looking at that as a temporary measure, not as a permanent measure. A permanent measure is to get people into housing. The New York City mayor called on the federal government for help. For less than 6,000 at one point, he was still asking for help. Washington, D.C. was asking for the freaking National Guard to come in and help them with less than 6,000. Folks, again, I know I'm repeating myself, but a city full of millions of people and they can't even take care of 6,000. I guess that's now close to 11,000 there in New York. Still, it's a drop in the bucket. You're still not even at a daily number of what Texas gets, and you can't even handle that surge. But they're expecting Arizona and all these red states, all these southern states to do it. It's just the hypocrisy. And then they're saying it's unfair that we're busing them to there. I mean, wait till we get to the Martha's Vineyard one, which you've all heard about, how we've sent 50 immigrants to Martha's Vineyard, and they sent them back in less than 24 hours. Unbelievable. The New York City mayor called on the federal government for help. He asked the regulation changes to allow migrants to legally work in the United States instead of waiting 6 months for a work visa. It's just, what more can we give them? Just keep giving them. Screw all the Americans. Just screw them all first. Let's make sure we get these guys work visas instead of waiting 6 months and doing all these things. Let's take care of them. It's always take care of other people rather than the American citizens first. How about taking care of the people that wanted to come into this country legally before you do all these work visas? How about you get through those people first before you start taking care of these people that broke the law, that cut the line to get in front of all those other people that wanted to come legally? I mean, you can go on for hours with this, folks. I hope you enjoyed that clip from the Bald Brad Show. If you did, make sure to hit that subscribe button so you can stay up to date on all our future content.